everybody! Welcome to another week at Xanadu Comics. It is Wednesday. We have new comic books. I mean, what else do I need to say? Like, you know the drill by now.
It's been a year. Right.
Do you want to start this off?
I could start. What are we gonna go with this week to start? Oh, you know what? We're gonna start with something completely stupid, unnecessary, but awesome nonetheless. This is Bo, Plushy Gangster. Oh, excuse me, Gangsta. Excuse me. Very, there's a difference. But yeah, I mean, look at it. It's a teddy bear who, he lives a hard life. Or the hard knock life, if you will. But basically, he goes around with a very large gun, quotes rap lyrics, shoots people, gets high, trips out, and he carries a chainsaw and stuff. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I am not quite sure if the back cover implies that he's actually a person that thinks he's a bear, or
yeah, and
what?
he kind of, when he smokes weed, he kind of turns into this bear and has this weird demonic
He turns into even more of a bear. It's all very disorienting.
It is.
There's some voodoo going on, I think.
Yeah, this is Pavel, I'm going to murder these names. Pavel Balabanov and Vasily Teretiev. Apologies, we were American, we suck at that kind of stuff. But it's very pretty for something that's kind of a joke book like this. It looks really good. So yeah, Bo Plushy Gangsta.
Also out this week, coming from Marvel, is the final issue of Matt Fraction's run on Fantastic Four and FF. This is FF number 16. Featuring art by Mike Allred, and in a backup story, Joe Quinones doing a better Mike Allred impression than Nick Dragotta could ever hope to do.
Right? And that's saying a lot.
Yeah. This is really fun stuff. It brings the Ant-Man's War on Doom storyline to a conclusion. Kind of acts as a bit of a farewell to the Future Foundation, who unfortunately will not have a new series coming out in all new Marvel now, as far as we know.
Which, because those characters are awesome.
Yeah,
like, that
great.
book has been better than the Fantastic Four book, easily. And it's Mike Allred, and there's a great, farewell stuff, and soon, Mr. Allred will be on Silver Surfer.
Which looks to be 10,000 times cooler than even this is, and that's saying something.
Absolutely. Anna is back this week, so we would like to throw over to her for her picks this week. So over to you, Anna.
I'm Anna, and these are comics. First up, Midas Flesh. It is a sci-fi book from Seattle favorite Ryan North, who writes awesome dinosaur comics, but also writes awesome Adventure Time comics. He's getting a little more sci-fi, a little more adult, but still manages to work in a philosophical, scientific dinosaur, which I'm never disappointed in. Got a new book from Rick Remender with amazing art done by Wes Craig. He fits roughly 9 to 10, 11 panels almost every single page, and the art and the action is flawless. It's a pretty complicated story, but it gets right into it in the first issue with a kid living on the streets picked up by a group of deadly assassins who want to turn him into their next student at the King's Dominion School for Deadly Assassins. That sounds pretty awesome. You should check it out. Next book, Zero by Alish Kott, the 5th issue. It's a little more rolled back on the action, a little more psychological in this issue. Edward is getting down to some nitty-gritty bones in his cold, calculating persona, but it's framed between a futuristic scene that puts a lot more of the series in perspective for future stuff, and I'm personally super excited for where the rest of this is going. But my favorite book of the week, which I know the boys will talk about in a little bit, is the new Judge Dredd Mega City 2 by Douglas Swoke, art by Ulysses Farinas, and colored amazingly by Ryan Hill. Judge Dredd is moving out to the West Coast for a exchange program. We'll see if that's really what he's out here for. Hint, hint, maybe not. But the art is super fantastic. Douglas Swoke is a Judge Dredd scholar by his own right, and also a amazing contributor to a bunch of other comic book sites. So it's cool that he's getting the chance to lay down some of the non-fiction work, or the fiction work. This is fiction, I think, unless they're telling the future and this is all our future reality. Either way, you'll find out what their future reality is like in the new Judge Dredd. Send it back to Casey and Morgan. Thanks.
Thank you as always, Anna. We really do appreciate your work here. And gonna take it over to DC with Justice League number 27. I don't get what your problem is with this. It's really, really, really awesome. Cyborg is finally getting his upgrade, ditching that really ugly, bulky, sharp Jim Lee design they had for the last few years.
Yeah, so.
He's new, sleek, and he has a big C on his chest.
So you remember his name?
Yeah, right? It's like, who's that robot guy? Robot Man?
Robot Man? No, that's the Doom Patrol. You're
yes,
a little off.
Speaking of Doom Patrol, they are introducing a new Doom Patrol in the first few pages, although in proper Doom Patrol fashion, they might not be sticking around for too long.
Poor Doom Patrol.
Yeah, really expanding the smaller name characters now, since the Justice Leagues are all off in another dimension.
It's good. Smaller characters are necessary. From Cinebook this week brings you the newest, well, you know, for us this is actually really new, from the European comic scene. This is Orbital Volume 5. This is the first of the third mission that is broken up in these books. There's been 4 volumes so far. You know, the first 2 are one mission, the next 2 are another mission. But it follows 2 kind of space cops, both from opposing races, who not only try to help everyone kind of get along in this world where there's a lot of racial tension, there's a lot of crime, but, you know, solve crimes, go on, you know, space journeys, other planets, all sorts of stuff. The art's by Sergio Pelle, and the script here is by Sylvain Runberg. It's only a year old, which is pretty quick to get from Europe, but this is absolutely gorgeous. All sorts of cool, creepy, crawly stuff. It's
cow-headed aliens.
Yeah, it's got like a real, like, Mos Eisley, you know, Cantina vibe from Star Wars type of thing going on. And this smells amazing.
Yeah, it's wafting over me.
It is a
from
waftable
there.
book. Absolutely. So.
And with that, we're gonna shoot it over to Will for, you know, all that Marvel stuff that we don't want to talk about.
That's right. So, to you, Will.
Thanks, guys, and let's start it off with my favorite all-new Marvel Now book, Black Widow by Nathan Evanson and Phil Noto. So here's what you need to know about this. This is, I wouldn't call it a female Hawkeye book, but it is kind of what Natasha's doing when she's not being an Avenger. She's doing on some really super secretive, some pretty dark places, some pretty dark missions around the world, but it's all to pay redemption for her life when she was a killer assassin. And in this case, she meets up with someone who may be a new ongoing adversary. It's really cool, gorgeous art, economy of words, as I say with the script. How's that for impressive critiquing there for you? But it's really cool, really, really cool. I love this book. Another kind of new take on the Avengers, some of your favorite Avengers in the all-new Invaders. Now, if you remember the Invaders, this was like a Roy Thomas series, and it was all about Captain America, the original Human Torch, Submariner, Bucky when he was still Bucky, and they fought the Nazis. Well, this is a whole new modern-day version of the Invaders by James Robinson. The man knows how to do some golden age. But this time, the invaders aren't the Nazis, but the Kree. And this weird thing with Asgardian superweapons. Really cool. Steve Pugh does the art. Really cool. Invaders. All new X-Men. This is a big crossover with Guardians of the Galaxy, the trial of Jean Grey. So, like, everybody out in outer space remembers what happens when Jean Grey hosts the Phoenix. So they want to, like, cut it to the source now that they found out that Jean Grey's alive. Big surprise. Brian Michael Bendis writes both books. So, really excited about this. This is part 1, Trial of Jean Grey. It's going to continue in Guardians of the Galaxy. Kieran Gillen is going back into an untold tale of Wolverine. This is 10 years after the first origin story. In Origin 2, Wolverine is coming back out of the woods after like a decade there, and some really weird past takes on 2 classic X-Men villains and their take on James Howlett's journey to becoming Wolverine. And my final book this week, the incredible Batman 0 Year. This is the big conclusion of Dark City, the second arc. This is about how Bruce Wayne became the Dark Knight, his first year on the job in Gotham City, how he bonded with Jim Gordon, and a really twisted, really cool take on the Riddler. This is not some, you know, cackling, funny guy. He's a real menacing, and the ending is pretty shocking, and it leads into the final big arc of 0 Year. So that's my books for this week, guys. Thanks for having me. Back to you.
Thank you, Will. And just because out of the comment that I made last week, I wanted to show that I'm a geek too. It's cool. You know, I wear Psylike t-shirts, whatever.
You're just a fake geek, dude. Admit it. You don't like the X-Men.
I stole this shirt from him. Quick one, just because Anna already talked about it. Deadly Class. This looks awesome. The chase scene in here is phenomenal. Definitely buy this, buy this, buy this. For sure.
Right. One of my personal favorite current Image series. This is the second issue of Dead Body Road from Justin Jordan and Matteo Scalera. I really like this because it's two dudes who it's kind of a B book for them because Justin Jordan's got Luther Strode and Matteo Scalera's got Black Science, which is just blowing up like nothing else.
Friggin' crazy.
But this is a sort of quieter revenge story. It's honestly for something so violent and brutal. It's really, the pacing is almost methodical. It's really great. Lots of torture, car crashes, everything you could hope from a revenge story.
And it's really scratchy and dark and all inky and stuff, which is really cool. I like it. I'm constantly impressed that he's able to do such different styles from like Black Science to this. It's just a testament to how good he is. And again, yes, Anna talked about it. Yes, we have to talk about this. This is Judge Dredd Mega City 2. Ulysses Farinas did my favorite book of last year called Gamma, which was Power Rangers, Pokemon, and beer all in one comic. If you didn't buy it, you missed out. We should have more copies hopefully next week. We just keep selling it because people keep missing it. But yeah, Judge Dredd goes to LA, and if the first double-page spread doesn't knock you on your ass all the way down to hell, I don't know what will. And it's great because he mixes this kind of like Darrow-esque, super high-quality, detail stuff with like really cutesy, kind of chibi Japanesey stuff.
Yeah,
which is really necessary if you're gonna do, you're gonna add that humor to Judge Dredd because it's funny when he shoots people in the face. Not when other people shoot people in the face, but when Judge Dredd does it, it's humorous. Absolutely. So yes, Judge Dredd, definitely pick that up.
Pretty much the best you could ever get from an American Judge Dredd
That is
comic.
absolutely true. Even through an American artist, too. Not even British.
Alright. And lastly, a collection from Dark Horse here. This is Volume 1 of Amala's Blade, a 3-issue miniseries by... Steve Horton is the writer, and it's drawn by Michael Dialanis. It's about sort of sci-fantasy, almost cyberpunky. There's two warring factions, the Purifiers and the Modifiers, who, from the names you can probably assume one of them
who's who.
really, really like stapling mechanical parts to their bodies, and one of
me.
them's like, I'm not into that, and you shouldn't either. And there's this assassin named Amala, who they're both terrified of, and she kind of has a ghost monkey and a ghost army, and
it's pretty cool.
You can see where that goes.
This has got also the 0 issue, which collects the Dark Horse Presents shorts, as well as the 1 through 3, so this is the whole shebang, $19. There you go. So yeah, I guess kind of short and sweet this week. Speaking of Judge Dredd, thank you. We have next week, on the 29th, The Law comes to Xanadu. That's right, no, not Sylvester Stallone. Mr. Arthur Wyatt, Seattle native here, he lives in Seattle now, who has done stuff for 2000 AD, is writing the official comic book sequel to the awesome Dredd movie of last year, right? Last year?
Last year.
So. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. On Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m. The book comes out the same day. Art by Henry Flint. This looks friggin' awesome. And 2000 AD was nice enough to mock up this really nice promo poster. It's really nice. Yeah. So, it's like a Judge Dredd week, But, yeah, so definitely, by Grud, be here, and, or else,
We'll, arrest you or something.
Right.
I don't think we can arrest you, so we'll just shoot you.
That's right. In the head, it'd be funny, kind of. Alright, thank you all, and we'll see you next week.